Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Let's see. I guess we're live. On Facebook, I like it when I go live because I can at least open another tab, go into the pager group that I'm going live in, and I can be like checking it out and refreshing the page, see if the live comes up. Here I just have to, oh, okay, there's people here. All right, hey, what's up, everybody? It's Stacey Storino. Normally I'm from Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill, but today I'm here on my own channel. We are at Stacey Storino. We're all about putting out content on this channel to help entrepreneurs with their content marketing so that they can drive traffic to their business so that they can do more business, right? There's no point in you as a, say, more mature entrepreneur. You got a busy life and maybe you have a busy business and you just want to make it busier and you're doing content marketing. You don't want to feel like there's something else on your to-do list. You want to feel like the content that you're putting out will actually drive more traffic to your business. Today, we'll focus on Instagram so that you can get more of the macro conversions that you need for your business to succeed on Instagram, right? Today, we're going to focus on Instagram. Hey, Silver Fox, what's going on? Good morning, #live. If you're watching this, whether you're a student of mine, #live, #replay. I do like to see who's hanging out on the live and on the replay. And I think now, because I've checked the little box, because they've updated lives in the YouTube Creator Studio, I think that the chat will show up on the replay, which is really cool. So, but even if you show up and you're like, oh, I don't see anything because magically the chat didn't show up on the replay, still let me know, #live, #replay. I am curious to see who can show up and when you show up. And if you are watching this on the replay, do everybody a favor. If you have a question when it comes to content marketing, just put it in the comments below. If for some reason you weren't here live, I do try to check within about up to 24 hours on my live streams, if not more often, to see if anybody has left any questions for me. So Heather Dupay is here. Hi, Miss Heather. And hi, Amy Lynn Blade. All right. Good morning, Stacey. Good morning, Miss Amy. Good morning, Miss Heather. Good morning, Silver Fox. Okay, so here we go. By the way, if you're watching this live or on the replay, if you really want to help me out, give this video a big thumbs up. Even on the replay, it does help. It helps to get the word out to more people, even on the replay who are already subscribers of mine. And also while this is live, more and more people will get pinged out while this is live. So you always want to encourage people when you go live, whether it's on YouTube or not, you want to make sure that you get them to interact with you anyway. Certainly encourage them to ask any questions, whatever's applicable for the live that you're performing, and encourage them #live, #replay. If you see a ton of #replays, you might be like, maybe if you have the ability to, in a Facebook group or here on YouTube, if you get the community tab, you can poll your following and go, hey, when would be a better time for me to go live if you want to catch me live? And then you can give them some options. Hey, Marquita, what's going on? Good to see you. You've been super busy. Good morning, Stacey. Great to see you. Good to see you too. All right. So I want to talk about now, if you're in my deep dive class, Socialgram Shortcut, my Instagram marketing deep dive class, Socialgram Shortcut, I'm not really giving away the farm here today, so don't worry about that. I do want to focus on one thing and one thing only today. And then, of course, if you guys have any questions, if you're a student of mine and you want to celebrate something that's going on in your business, whatever it is you want to do, you can put that down in the comments below and we'll recognize you and celebrate you. I think it's important as a matter of accountability to do something on behalf of your business to push it forward every week. Whether you simply have your own website out on Google and you're working your Google SEO, whether you have a shop on Etsy, if that's applicable. If you're a coach or a course creator, you've got a course on Udemy or Skillshare or Teachable or whatever. I think that no matter what your business model is, it's really, really, really super important to keep moving along in your business. We should be doing content marketing, whether we're beginner in terms of our business, intermediate or advanced. We have a team, we have independent contractors, whatever. As we move along, we get more profitable. I think it's important that at the very, very least, you are doing daily content marketing on the top 2 social media platforms for your business. And very likely, whatever your business model is, you're probably going to need to have a presence on Instagram. And lucky you, Instagram is a place where people do disproportionately go to. They want to follow businesses on Instagram. They love that. That's part of the user corporate culture for several years now. It wasn't always like that. And they do want to consume business related content. They absolutely do. You are not being too pushy or too much or anything like that if you're strutting your stuff on Instagram. And they do want to consume that content so that it can drive their purchasing decisions, both on and off app. Even a business like my family business, Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill, can do quite a brisk trade in the DMs or the direct messages on Instagram because people will message us to ask for pints and quarts of ice cream, or, placing a designer cake order, or can you take my hot food order? Is it slow? Can you take my hot food order and I'll just show up? Or can you do like a little mini catering and we'll come and pick it up from Joe's? Like, we get all sorts of stuff that leads to money to the tune of around $1,000 plus or minus every single week just off our Instagram presence. And honestly, we don't have 10,000 or more people following us on Instagram. You don't need to qualify for. They're taking the swipe up feature away. They're replacing it with a link sticker. But as of right now, not everyone's going to have access to the link sticker. The people who are going to have the access to the link sticker are going to be the people who would have used the swipe up feature. Whatever. Do I really think it matters? No, because any creators that I speak to behind the scenes or in other groups that I'm in with pacing partners and stuff like that, they tend to say that the swipe up feature was okay, it was a neat thing to have, but it didn't necessarily in and of itself lead to more conversions. They found. And the conversions could have been to a sale. The conversions also could have been to drive traffic to a YouTube video, let's say, or to drive traffic to an email opt-in form. It didn't matter. It didn't seem to move the needle that much in terms of getting a business owner conversions. So if you're not anywhere near 10,000 followers on Instagram, I wouldn't really bust a gut of whether or not they're taking away the swipe up feature or adding the link sticker. I think you can still get strike that. I know that you can get plenty of conversions on Instagram without anything fancy like that. Hey, Bridget, what's going on? Hi, Personal Space Creations. Hope you and Darren and the moms and the cats are all doing great. All right, so some information came out more recently. And if you're in Socialgram Shortcut, I am going to put a post in there. I do want to talk about where we're putting hashtags on Instagram. So today I'm going to focus mostly on Instagram. You guys have any questions, ask me. This isn't all Stacey Radio all the time. I'll certainly answer your content marketing based questions if they happen to be off of Instagram, but at least let me pay service to anybody who might find this in search or get this video on the replay recommended out to them. Let's get down to a bit of more recent information where the Instagram CEO officially said, so this is canon, when it comes to Reels, they are recommending that you put hashtags in the captions. That's a definite. So IGTV videos and feed posts, I don't think it still matters. IGTV, to me, I have always told my students to put the hashtags in the captions. I don't, so for IGTV videos, that's kind of its own thing, and that's what you would do. But for things that have comments on them, for sure, like Instagram Reels and feed posts, I would definitely, for Reels, since the CEO came out and said it, I would put the hashtags in the caption now. I guess just however they code the things, it's better for you. If you're doing Instagram Reels, and you should, I have an entire playlist on my YouTube channel that talks about Instagram Reels specifically. It's not too late to get into the action. If you have a if you have an Instagram account that isn't really getting super great traction, it doesn't matter if you're new or relatively new, or you were on it and never really did anything, or you were on it and for a season you did stuff and then you let the Instagram account sit fallow. If you're using Reels, at least for the foreseeable future, they're not super sunsetting the reach of Reels in and of themselves. You should be using Reels to market your business on Instagram. and business related reels, whether they're products or services focused, straight up sales based marketing, or they're relationship based marketing. They all seem to do about as well. On Instagram, if you're using Reels. And besides, the CEO also said a little bit further back this year that Instagram is now a video sharing first model. It's not what it used to originally be, which was like a photo and an image sharing model. And they're only doing what they have to do to stay in step with TikTok and YouTube Shorts and just consumer behavior. Okay, this isn't like they're all in their ivory towers and they're just doing it because their competitors are doing it. Young adults and millennials disproportionately favor video, even if it's short form video content. What do I mean? The videos are 30 seconds, a minute on Instagram, on TikTok. Oh, and on Shorts too, they go up to a minute. On TikTok, they now pushed it to about 3 minutes. If you're using TikTok, but it's been a while, or you really don't check your messages on the regular, you should every day. People could be asking you about what's depicted or shown, especially in terms of products or services or whatever your business model is on TikTok. I have students all the time who close deals in the messages on TikTok, which operates, of course, the way DMs or direct messages do on Instagram. And even Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill, we have a global audience. We're about to hit 800,000 fans or followers on TikTok. We'll circle back to Instagram in just a second, I promise. But they're getting messages all the time from more local people who are like, I'm coming, can I order a cake? Or do I do this only on Instagram or through Facebook, or God help me, in person? But we also, because we have a super global audience for TikTok, they're like, hello, sell merch. I can't get an ice cream over here in Spain, but I want a t-shirt or a hat. I so love your account. I so love your brand. It's so fun. I'm a foodie. You do all sorts of extreme and weird food things and challenges and stuff. Like, I would totally be rocking a t-shirt or a hat for you. So in my spare time, I got to get that launched for them. But, I see a couple of things. So let me say, are there Instagram shops? Is that where the swipe ups were linking to? That's a really good question, Markina. Hold on. Denise at Devonshea Creations is here. #live. Hello, Denise. Good to see you. And Markina also says, I've seen some people put the hashtags in the comments. Do those count? I think you can still get away with those in feed posts. I do. With feed posts, as I've taught my students in Socialgram Shortcut, I have said, and until I see something official otherwise, this is still what I would do for feed posts. It's dealer's choice. You can put all the hashtags in the captions. You could put all the hashtags in the first comment of your feed post, but you have to do that super fast. It's definitely got to be within seconds. I wouldn't go more than a minute. So what I would do is, if that's what you're going to do after you publish your piece of feed post content, you could sit there and say the Notes app in your phone. We do this for Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill all the time. So I'll have my basic ones and then we'll add or whatever. But I would tap and long hold and select all, then copy all, then get out of the Notes app. Don't accidentally delete your hashtags. I've done that. So, and then you would sit there and speed paste it to the first comment in your feed post. With Reels, I would definitely put it in the caption, because that's what the CEO has come out and said. And IGTV, I really think that's really the only way it works, is if you put the hashtags in the caption. If it would make life easier for you to just say, then you know what? I'm going to put my hashtags in the caption on the feed post, the caption on the IGTV video, and the caption in the Reels. Clearly that doesn't hurt you. You may as well. Better safe than sorry. But I know that for the longest time, especially with feed posts, you could do it. You could have even broken it up, because I've seen this asked and answered by the powers that be and stuff over at Instagram, and people who specifically are code crackers with algorithms. And it had been for the longest time with feed posts. Again, this is with feed posts. You could take and split, I don't know, pretend 15 in the caption on a feed post and 15 in the first comment if you did it fast enough, and it would all count and be related. If you just feel like it's the safest thing to put all the hashtags in the caption, now you may as well do it, because again, IGTV, I really don't think it would have functioned any other way. And Reels are definitely telling you to do that with Reels. Okay. So, it was never a bad idea to do it in the feed posts. It was dealer's choice and it never really mattered. But this is important because if you've been doing Reels as of late and you didn't even know they made that announcement and you were putting in comments, you were putting in all your hashtags in the first comment, maybe it didn't work so well anymore. For Marquina's other question, are there IG shops? I know that Instagram and Facebook are kind of pushing the shop thing. They kind of think they're going to be like little mini Etsy's, right, for people who sell through Etsy or Faire or Amazon Handmade or anything like that. I don't like those, and I'm never going to like those. So I'll put a pin in that and circle back in a minute. The swipe ups were not necessarily linking to that. The swipe ups, the way they worked was you could put in basically any link as long as you weren't violating the terms of service. So you could have sent them to an email opt-in. You could have sent them to the homepage of your website with a swipe up link. You could have sent them to a YouTube video or something like that, or a page on your website that would take them to a podcast MP3 player. Whatever, you could have done like a variety of things. It was not just like an Instagram shop type thing. Why don't I like a Facebook store or an Instagram shop or something like that? Because then it just feels too much like Etsy, where they have all the contact information, and the only way that you can contact and or email anybody following their terms of service is for transactional emails only. Any student of mine knows that I'm all about you guys building your email list for several reasons. Number one, platforms can come and go, and then you've lost all of even your transactional contacts. But that's not the most important reason why. Also, you want that information to be your information. You don't want anyone to take that away from you. The most important reason is that email marketing really has a return on investment. You can Google this, whatever source you want. Definitely use the filter so you're not going back too much further than a year, because like stats for anything 5 years ago won't really matter. I mean, sometimes they hold true, but even if you went back a year, even a couple years for this, email marketing has a return on investment or ROI that's in the 5 figures. Is it 4,200? Is it, or in the 4 figures for sure? I'm sorry. Is it like 4,200%? Is it 1,500%? Is it 3,200%? I've seen a whole bunch of ROIs that are just way, way, way above 100 or 100%, hundreds of percent. If everything else in your business is operating properly and all else is equal in terms of your website and your content marketing, relationship-based marketing, sales-based marketing, bit of both, everything that you're doing is pretty fair and balanced. You know your ideal customer. You are using the right keywords and or hashtags to be pulled up in search, one piece of content at a time by them, even on Google, not just using the search features on social like Instagram or TikTok and stuff. Well, guess what? 3/4 roughly of your sales every month should come from people who are on your email list, your email VIPs or whatever you call them. About 1/4 of the percentage will come from your website if you're hardcore using one, or like your Etsy shop or off social, right? So like I just said a little bit ago, Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill, we can definitely get around $1,000 a week plus or minus in sales just in the DMs or the direct messages on Instagram. We can get that too on TikTok. Our audience is increasingly global on TikTok, so they want t-shirts and hats and stuff like that from us. So here comes another line of income for us. May you all have that problem, right? So but you've got to build your email list, because that's really where you're going to make your money. And that's where you're going to get your repeat sales, because then you can just sell to these people with impunity all you want. The statistics, especially the more recent one, shows that about 60% of all people get on an email list expecting that they're going to be sold to. They want you to sell to them. If you're only doing 1 or 2 sales promotions a month and you feel pushy because you're doing that, you are just, they're not following their Aunt Benwina. They are not following a personal email, where like you trade recipes and crap. They're following a business. They expect sales, promotions. They also expect things like sneak peeks and inside scoops and behind the scenes of how things are made or whatnot. But if you're on a business's email list, you expect to be sold to. And most businesses that make the most money are sending out a sales-based email daily or close. So if you think you're emailing people too much, you're really not. But if you're not building up that email list of contacts that are yours, that's your problem. It's hard to sell that way. So Heather says, launched her TikTok yesterday with 6 videos, first 2 videos of 600 views. Plan to post more and more today. That is awesome. Everybody cheer Miss Heather on. Music chick card. What's going on? Good to see you. Hashtag love. Good morning. Good morning. Nicely done, Heather. Congratulations. Nice leadership. Nice teamwork. Yay. Okay. So definitely cheer Miss Heather on. The time that sucks the most when you're, doing your content marketing, organic content marketing on Instagram, TikTok, or anywhere is when you first start. I don't know, for the more mature entrepreneur, especially if you have a busy life, you have a family, you have a business that's doing business at all, but you want to grow it, which you should, so you can hire independent contractors to help you where applicable, or part-time to full-time employees, of course, so you can scale and grow, right? You should be looking at all your work as delegable work, right? You shouldn't have to be doing all the video editing, all the podcast editing, if that's what you're doing. If your niche really loves podcasts, you need a presence there. If your niche isn't disproportionately into podcasts right now, I wouldn't sweat it. But everybody should be doing daily posts on the top 2 social media platforms that are most important to their niche. Is that Facebook and Instagram? That'd be great. But TikTok, I'm starting to say, and intermediates and advanced should be doing 3, 4 platforms, because now you have a team, or now you're doing the paid versions of like content auto posters and schedules, right? Like Later or something like that. So now you've got help, human help, digital help. You can get stuff out more and more often on more platforms. If you're having a hard time growing, Instagram Reels are going to be a growth driver for you. And as long as you can keep up with like posting daily to like a Facebook page or a Facebook group or something like that, Facebook, I think you do need to, especially if we're dealing with millennials and older, you do need to have a presence or you're going to look weird. And at least if you're posting like daily, even if you're just cross posting from Instagram, I'd rather you do that than nothing. But if you're having a hard time with growth, Instagram is the place to be to get more sales. You're still seeing more folks turning into dollars directly on app or off app with Instagram, really off app with Instagram. But Instagram Reels is going to be the driver for you. And, just post them both as a reel and as a feed post. Your feed doesn't look naked, and that's it. If you're out of time, I would at least do an Instagram reel. Also, if you're like, I need growth, then I would do TikTok. And the thing is that TikTok's 52% all adults now. It's not a kiddie app like it was 2-3 years ago. It's not. Once you hit the tipping point of 50% and over, being at this point millennials on up, and yeah, there's baby boomers on there, but it's really a lot of millennials and a healthy chunk that's ever growing a Gen X. And these are the 2 demographics that, painting with a broad brush, have more money, have more disposable income. They still are upwardly mobile and or in their prime earning. So they are likely the folks. A lot of my students are like, I sell to millennial moms. That's great. If you're not on TikTok and you're not growing, you need to get on TikTok. You do. And if you don't believe me, download the app. On the homepage, once you first log into the app, you're going to have that along the bottom. You'll have it's kind of like your homepage on a website, but it's on the bottom. Like tap or click on Discover, and it'll bring you to the Discover page. On the top will be the search feature. Like you can, I'm very sure how to reach on Instagram. You can put in any keyword that your ideal customer is searching on. You can throw a hashtag in front of it and search on it as a hashtag. And in about 5 minutes, you're going to go, yup, my niche has a presence here. Even if they didn't like a year ago, my niche has a presence here now. Okay. So hold on. Now I see the feed just going. So Heather, even if you guys, listen, if you get a ton of growth on TikTok and you're like, I'm addicted and I will safely repurpose this stuff as reels to keep my Instagram going, and you can keep up with 3-4 TikToks a day, that is great. We do have a lot of influencers who are saying, like, you don't have to do 8 to 10 times a day, but like if you were doing TikToks 3 to 4 times a day, sure, you could get like a lot of growth. Joe's is growing like Megasonic, and we might do a post a day, maybe, and sometimes we skip because we're a busy 7-figure business. You know, what can you do? Nothing and nobody's perfect, right? But, you know, perfect's the enemy of done. You just have to get what you can done, right? But so like Heather, if you're like, I'm starting to burn out, I'm starting to run out of ideas, at least daily, don't fall off the daily train if you can avoid it. And I think that that's fine. And I think that it's realistic because disproportionately, a lot of my viewers on my YouTube channel, they're like 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. I do have a couple of 70-something-year-olds. God bless you. I got 2 76-year-olds that are just cruising along. And no, they're not in the same household. So baby boomers are amazing because once you teach them something, they're like, fine, I may hate it, but if it works, and then off they go. And they're like little soldiers, and they're putting out their content on Instagram and TikTok. It's amazing. So they definitely still have some of the hardest hardcore work ethics anywhere. All right, so rock on. Heather says, Bridget of Personal Space Creations. Heather says, thank you. Amy Lindblade said, I finally also started my TikTok yesterday and have about 1,000 views between the 3 videos that I posted. Good girl. And I bet you, Miss Amy Lindblade, you're not seeing that sort of reach from posting even a video on well, certainly on YouTube. YouTube is a tough platform to grow and scale on. Can you do it? Sure. But you really have to take the long game, usually with Google for your website and YouTube and even Facebook. But you can still get all sorts of organic traction. You don't have to be paid to play with ads for any of that stuff. But you do have to have a presence and you do have to make a concerted effort. Heather says, can Reels be added to stories? Let me give you the right kind of answer. You can take a clip of your Reels. And you can definitely put it in stories. So let me just make sure that the step-by-step that I share with you, there's a couple different ways that you can go about it. You can share it with just your friends. You'll see that option that comes up. Like when you do a reel on Instagram, for those of you that do it, I have quite a few students who do. Before you hit the big blue button on the bottom to publish it to Reels, there's an option that you leave pre-toggled that will take you to your feed post. And I recommend doing that because if you're short on time, cover 2 bases, okay? So you can add the Instagram reel to your story. You would select the Reels icon in the middle of all those icons that are just above your like feed, you know, in the vicinity of your highlights if you're doing those, okay? And then you scroll through the Reels that you already have published until you find the one that you want to share. And then you would select the share icon. It looks like that little share plane, I call it, or the paper airplane. It will be down low on the reel. And then you get the option in a pop-up menu that appears and it says add Reels to your story. Okay, I didn't want to, you know, you can do it that way. You can also, you can save your reel to your camera phone. And you can like edit a smaller piece if you want and share it to the story. But that's like if you want to take your wholesale reel and share it to your story, because right now on Instagram you can only go up to 60 seconds anyway, and that's about the length of what, you know, they'll let you do if you just did a video straight up to stories. So, and do I recommend that you cover all 3 bases? One of the videos that I did about a year ago in my Instagram, it's now in my Instagram Reels playlist on my channel. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please make sure that you do. Number 1. Number 2, it's kind of like leaving a tip in the tip jar. If you haven't given this video a big fat thumbs up, please do. Number 3, if you know anybody who live around the replays like, no one ever does free coaching, everyone's pay to play all the time, you can share this out live around the replay so that your friends can see the advice that I share, because most everybody's on the YouTube. And they can also ask questions in the comments down below. And for like the next day, for sure, I definitely try to look to see if anybody's asked any questions or something like that. So, but do I recommend, as of a year ago, I said, you want to share your reel as a reel, obviously, as a feed post, easy to do, and then in your Instagram story, because then you are covering 3 bases every single day on Instagram. And even if that's all you did at a sheer minimum, that is still plenty, and you are populating your account. Over time, the more goodies that you get, the more reels, the more IGTV videos maybe that you do. Like when you go live, save your replays as IGTV videos. That's a quick and dirty way to start getting that there. So if you don't have the IGTV symbol yet, it's because you haven't done any. When you do the first one, the symbol will appear in line with like that 9-box grid that would take people back to your feed, you know, and then you have the Reels icon and the IGTV icon and all those goodies. Okay, so let me see. So Amy, yup, keep up with it, even if it's just one a day and you're doing great. So everybody's cheering Miss Amy along. I love it. Heather says on TikTok, when you look for hashtags, how big is too big to use a hashtag? I see some saying over 4 billion views on a hashtag. The advice I'm going to give you for TikTok is roughly the advice that I would give you on Instagram. So this is a good 2-for-1, right? So how I would do it is this. It's kind of like Goldilocks and the 3 Bears, right? Everybody kind of knows that story where it's like too hot, too cold, or just right. So to use a hashtag that is too hot or too competitive is hard because you're not going to be seen. You're going to be buried in like seconds or minutes or whatever in the feed for that hashtag, because both TikTok and Instagram, see, Instagram, you can follow hashtags, but you can also search on hashtags without following them, of course. You can search on keywords. On TikTok, you can really search on keywords and hashtags. As of right now, there's no like way to follow hashtags on TikTok, but they're all ripping each other off, Instagram and TikTok. So who knows? Down the road, they may be letting you do that. But in this snapshot of time, I'm not aware of your ability to follow hashtags per se on TikTok, but yes, you can do that on Instagram. So you don't want to use a hashtag to me, if at all possible. I would not go really to a hashtag. Like if you have your choices, I wouldn't go past like for sure 1 million, because I just think that 1 million, 1 billion later, you're getting buried. It's too, and let's face it, any hashtag that does that much usage, 1 million, millions, billions, it's broad. It's a broad hashtag. In a way, God or the universe, whatever you want to believe in, is doing you a favor. Because the more broad your keywords, the more broad your hashtags in this example, the more you're not really likely pitching to that narrowed down niche of folks that are going to buy from you at the end of the day anyway. People pay for solutions that are more custom crafted for people just like them with problems just like theirs. They don't want to get vanilla and broad and overbroad, or like it could kind of be anyone. I guess I'll get it, right? So like you don't really want to try to use broad or overbroad keywords or hashtags. So anything that's clearly 1 million or more, I try not to use them ever. You know, if you are on Instagram and you can use 30 hashtags, which you can for Reels, for IGTV videos, and for feed posts, I'm all about you using all 30 hashtags. And so if you're like, oh, I'm down to like 28 hashtags, I got to go, I got to pick up the kids, or I got a business meeting or something. Fine, you could do a couple of Hail Marys in there at the bottom of your like hashtag like cloud or constellation there, and be like, okay, I can use some that are like 1 million or more, or 1 billion or more. On Instagram, you can kind of do that. On TikTok, I would never do that, because you don't have a lot of space in that caption for the keywords or whatever kind of like hook that you're going to write, plus the hashtags that you can fit in after that. Like think more like Twitter would tweet. Twitter, Jack Dorsey. But seriously, because it's not a cesspool at all on Twitter. But here's the thing, like Twitter, like think a tweet and you got to fit everything there. There is no first comment that you put hashtags in or anything like you could do on Instagram. But Twitter gives you like 280 characters and you've got like 100 on TikTok. So unless they change that anytime in the future, that 100 doesn't just include hashtags, it includes like the wordy hook that you're going to put in there. That should be pretty keyword rich if you could do it. So maybe let's just say, for the sake of argument, hook aside, whatever your hook might be, you're going to get like 2-3 hashtags in, maybe sometimes 4. I would really make sure that those hashtags are ones that are, we said don't go too hot. I don't want you to really look at a million, a billion or more or anything like that. You don't want to go too cold either. You want to be just right. So smaller is always better. Could you get too small where you're too cold? Possibly with hashtags. So like, I don't know. I would be happy to see you use hashtags that have, this is all bright line stuff, of course. I would be happy to see you use hashtags that are like 1,000 or bigger. Under 1,000, I'm wondering if there's enough people thinking about hashtags like that, optimizing their content with hashtags like that, and searching on hashtags like that. So under 1,000 to me is probably approximately too cold. Anything that's 1 million or more or approaching 1 million or more, that's too hot and it's too broad. You want to think custom crafted for people who are searching up content to binge on TikTok and even on Instagram, where it has to do with their intersecting interests. What would have them binge on content like that for inspo, tips, tricks, techniques, products, deal with their main pain point or their main passion point? Those are the types of I would focus on more, and those would definitely be like ones that you can get traction. So smaller is better until you're around 1,000 hashtags. Does that make sense? Everybody say down below, makes sense or doesn't make sense. Let me know. All right. So Bridget Upcycle Lawson, she's gone on to a different account here. She says, so I'm seeing the TikTok logo on a lot of reels. Is Instagram just ignoring it, or are the posts just amazingly optimized? Okay, so for that question, you shouldn't have the reel of that. You shouldn't have the TikTok logo on the reels. You shouldn't, because not only is it not a best practice, because some of you are like, well, I don't have the time. There are free and cheap apps that can wipe that logo off for TikTok, so that you can theoretically repurpose it as a reel. My concern is that the algorithm can catch whether or not this is just a flat out repurpose, and you taking away the logo doesn't kind of fool. It doesn't erase all the code that would show, like all the source code, if you will, that would show the Instagram like algorithm and the AI or the artificial intelligence that you're not just burping out or vomiting out a reel onto TikTok. If you manage to see a reel perform, even though it's got the TikTok logo on it, think several things. Number one, as Bridget's very intelligently asking, is it very well optimized so that, like, against all odds, it's still going to perform on Instagram Reels, at least for now? Maybe. Possibly. And then on the flip side, you have to say to yourself, does this person have such a rabid following and they're so big that they've hit a certain point of critical mass where, you know, we all start off where Amy Lindblade's doing and Heather Dupay is doing, where everybody starts off at 0 on every platform, including but not limited to, in this example, TikTok. The worst part, the part that sucks the most, and I'm not going to lie, is pushing that boulder up the hill every single damn day. And, you know, slowly you go from 1 digit to 2 digits in followers, and then to 3, and then to 4. Somewhere around 3 to 4, you start feeling better. Your business probably sees traction if you're putting out the right type of content, if you're optimizing it, keywords and or hashtags to be seen by the right type of audience. And then, you know, you're letting them know one piece of content at a time that you're a business owner. Because, you know, just because you share a quote, somebody can be like, right on, sister, and keep scrolling. And they have no idea why they should even think to go to your bio. That's why with the popularity plan, and for my students, you will see emails about the popularity plan for October being sold starting tomorrow. starting tomorrow. So I'll definitely have Friday in there because everybody's like, make sure you put a Friday in there to include a payday. So it'll be 5 days, cart open, cart closed period, like I tell you guys to do, whether you're selling products or digital products or services or coaching, course creator stuff. 5-day cart open, cart close. Much bigger than that usually doesn't work. Usually, but less than 5 days could be kind of tight unless you're doing a flash sale or a clearance sale or something like that, depending upon your business model. 5 days is usually very, very healthy to do. So there will be a 5-day cart open, cart close period. It's going to start for the popularity plan tomorrow. And that's $37 for 15 social media graphics that correspond with the biggest tentpole events and or holidays that most people's niches would enjoy for October. In this case, 15 corresponding social media templated captions to go with it. So if you don't love writing, you don't have time to do the writing, all you have to do is read through it, fill in the blanks, and like kind of tweak and make it your own. Boom, you're done. And so that gives you 15 posts that you could definitely use on Facebook or Instagram with a little bit of resizing in Canva. You can use them for Pinterest pins. I know people who do it. And then they take the caption and make that the description, right, for the pin. So you can use it on more than just Facebook and Instagram. And but also in that $37 price is for emails that are templated. And again, you fill in the blanks, you tweak them and make them your own. If you have a sale or something, you put in the PS to remind people that there's a coupon code or a site-wide sale or whatever. You don't have a sale and you just want to use that email as straight up relationship marketing. Good. You should on occasion have those anyway. So that whole package, the 4 emails, the 15 social media graphics, and the corresponding 15 social media captions collectively is $37. The cart will open for that tomorrow. Now, why was I bringing that up? Let me look. I don't even remember anymore. Crap, there was a reason, legit. So yeah, there may be reels that are sloppily repurposed TikToks that are performing, but it could be because this is an account that has really hyper, optimized their content. So imagine what it would do if the algorithm wasn't dinging them a bit, right? So against all odds, it might still have some pretty decent performance. Or they have just reached such a critical mass with respect to their social following that people are just pulling up the reels and interacting with them so much that the algorithm goes, oh, I'm going to hold my nose because this is super performing stuff with a lot of like shares or comments or likes or whatever. So I will push this out and to explore, especially if it's well optimized. It'll help me because every keyword, every hashtag is a data point for the algorithm to surface so that it can do more intelligent matchmaking. This is actually technically both on Instagram. The Explore page is where they matchmake for you. And of course, on TikTok, it's the For You page. Amy Lynn Bleed says, I've been shocked at the TikTok response. I have 8 followers already too. Good girl. Good girl. Soon you'll be to 10, and then you've gone into 2-digit territory. 1 is like 0 and 1 are like the loneliest numbers ever. So you're already past that. Now, remember, Amy, you need to put out 1 of those every single day. You don't have to do 3, 4 or more if you don't have the time, the capacity, and the bandwidth to do it. That's fine. But on TikTok, you could still have a hell of a good growth, at least right now, with 1 a day. What I don't want any of my more mature entrepreneurs to do is to drop off the grid and stop doing it because they're burned out, right? So I want you to do what's realistic, but an Instagram reel that you repurpose as a TikTok or vice versa, when you do it intelligently, that'll help you cover 2 areas. Instagram is very likely to get you sales. TikTok, increasingly, I have students getting approached in the messages about whatever product was showcased or the tip, trick, or technique used a product. Is that something that they sell? And they make sales via the messages on TikTok. But remember, too, I don't like you repurposing TikToks. See, there are gurus out there that will tell you that you can do it and just get off the logo and you should be fine and then optimize and you should be fine. But the thing of it is also the music and the sound effects, just because they're safe to use on one platform doesn't mean it's safe to use on another platform. So you could get like a content strike or a shadow ban or have, God forbid, an account closed, get a warning message in your inbox. Like you don't want that. So I always say, like, whatever footage is on your camera roll that you upload into TikTok, and you use a TikTok editor with the stickers and the filters and the music and the sounds and whatever, and then you do the caption and the hashtags, which you can always have that pre-done in the notes on your phone just to save time. And then you can reuse the hashtags and the caption for your Instagram reel. But remember, Instagram reels, you get 30 hashtags. You're lucky if you could fit 3 or 4 on TikTok. But I would repurpose the video, the raw video from your camera roll itself. Once you're done with putting up the TikTok version, then pull it into the Instagram Creator Studio, where you can scroll through the bottom to say, okay, this is a reel. I'm going to pull the video up in my camera roll. And now I'm going to do this. I know I'm safe because I'm choosing live Instagram sound effects for the reels, Instagram music. I'm using their stickers. I'm using their filters. So I'm not going to get shadow banned or worse on Instagram. I'm not going to get in trouble on TikTok if I do the reverse and the music and the sound effects are a no-no on TikTok, right? I know it's like a couple extra steps that you wish you didn't have to do, but for the free organic growth that you're going to get, it is worthwhile work. And again, you can use the Notes app in your phone to do like the tweet sized like hook that hopefully has some nice keywords in there too, that you could use on both Instagram Reels and on TikTok, and have some of the hashtags to fit in for for TikTok, and then have the rest of the hashtags that maybe you can copy and paste into your caption for the reel. Because now, like we said, more towards the top of the hour, you really do have to have those hashtags in the caption for the reel. It's not a question anymore of, can you do dealer's choice like you could have done with a feed post? So fine. And you can pull up the hashtags or whatever to make it a cloud of 30 when you might've been doing only 3 or 4 for TikTok. But you can copy and paste keywords and hashtags. Don't copy and paste over the whole video, because I'm telling you, it gets very murky with music and sound effects and content strikes and stuff like that. Heather Dupay says, I love this idea, but I can't get that feature to work on later. I never get the notifications. I'll have to do some digging in the settings. Okay. Thank you for all the cheers. Twitter. Heather says, realize quickly you have to be very creative with the TikTok caption. Yeah, it's like shorter character length, and then a tweet on Twitter, which is 280. I think it's like 100 for TikTok. But for Instagram Reels, you get 2,200 characters that have to include your hashtags, like I just said. But still, that gives you plenty of room to play with to really leverage Instagram SEO. And I do now have a separate playlist on my YouTube channel that just focuses on the topic of Instagram SEO. There's like 3 videos in there, and they're all fresh for 2021, because increasingly keywords are more and more important, not just straight up hashtags on Instagram. Heather says, yes, that makes sense. Amy Lindblade says that makes sense. Bridget says, I stopped putting my business hashtag in all my posts. It's a waste of the hashtag to me because I'm the only one searching it. She says, Mom is watching on the PSC account on the TV. I'm doing stuff all over the house, so I'm taking you with me on my phone headset on this account. I get it. Amy says, I'm glad you mentioned the popularity plan. I was wondering about that. Yep. I'll be sending out that email tomorrow. And just in case you don't have the pumpkin batch of frosted mini course that has the corresponding Facebook group, that is also going to be sold in the same email. So I'm going to have a picture and a button for the popularity plan up top, because that's fresh. Nobody's had that yet out of all of my students on my email list. And then under that, just in case you missed out, you can get the pumpkin batch of frosting. That is an 8-lesson mini course that talks about relationship marketing plan and straight up sales-based marketing plans for content marketing that tends to do well in October. And no, it's not all Halloween. Halloween, I don't know how much help most of you would need with that anyway. And then there are some of you that are like, my niche doesn't celebrate Halloween for whatever the reason, or I don't need to throw the accent mark on Halloween for my business. For whatever the reason, it wouldn't work. So this isn't all just like Halloween and a couple of fall ideas, okay? So like whatever content marketing that you're doing, relationship marketing, sales-based marketing, and sometimes marketing that's a bit of both, that 8-lesson mini course will really be very useful for you. That's the pumpkin batch of frosting. It's the frosting on top of the cake of your content marketing. And every batch focuses on a different corresponding month of the year. So there's 12 batches of frosting. And so I will re-release the pumpkin batch for those people who don't have it. Okay, are we in a good place? Are we in a good place? So students, I'll definitely post in the more active student groups too. And of course, I will send out an email with all the pictures and the buttons and the links and all that for both the popularity plan and the pumpkin batch of frosting, just in case you missed it. A lot of people got the pumpkin batch of frosting, but just in case. I don't mean to sip all over everybody. Anybody have any other questions? Oops. So Bridget says, so if you can't follow hashtags on all the platforms, so you just have a keyword list that you pick from and not use the hashtag as one of the precious characters on the ones that don't need it? That's a good question. So like I showed you in the notes on my phone for Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill, I'm not the only one posting to that account anymore. I can't do it all anymore. I have my coaching and course creation business that is a full-time thing in the background. And then I also have the work that I do at Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill. In 2016, 17, and probably into 18, my husband and I were doing everything ourselves. And then I would say 18 onward, increasingly, we have more and more people on the team who's handling TikTok stuff, and they just follow what I would teach them and off they go. Who's helping us with Instagram, who's helping us admin and create content for Facebook. YouTube is still my thing for them, which is why it's my bastard child. And I don't put a video up every week for Joe's because I'm so busy here. If you're new or relatively new to my channel, I put out edited videos on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and then I do a live with a replay here on Wednesdays. So 5 days a week, you get content from me. So we do have the pre-selected list in the notes, but Instagram certainly doesn't like it if you just copy and paste the same hashtag like cloud or constellation or grouping, whatever you want to call it. You do it too many times in a row, they can consider it spam. So that would only be the base when I post content. And then I try to add more hashtags that, of course, have to do with whatever content is being depicted or shown in the reel or the feed post or whatever on Instagram. It's okay to have some base stuff that would more often than not apply to your content, your business, where it's located. And I mean, I understand what you're saying about like if you're on TikTok and you really don't have a lot of space, which you don't want to put your business name there because unless you have somehow transcended, you've been around for decades, you have millions and millions of people following you, putting your business hashtag in there, your business name hashtag, you're using up space for something that right now anyway isn't really getting you pulled up in search. With Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill, now we're getting pulled up in search. We're a major food influencer on that platform, okay? The amount of duets and reaction videos that we're getting now, people are collaborating with us. We don't have to seek them out. So yeah, we can get away with hashtag Joe's Dairy Bar on TikTok, for example. And we can do that on Instagram too, right? But we've been around since 1960. Technically, my family's owned the business since 2002. That's still almost 20 years. And we're a 7-figure business year over year for the last several years. You can transcend, and other creators can do that too. And you're like, wow, they have all this traction. They may be in a different place than you are. I would, where you're dealing with, say, TikTok and every character counts, don't use, at least for now, a hashtag that involves your business name. And unless it's really important for that piece of content, because you're going to show up at something local or regional, I wouldn't use geolocation-based hashtags on TikTok. Would I do it on Instagram? Yes. And they know when you set up your account where you/your business is located. So even if you're not like live on location, you can use geolocation-based hashtag tags, whether you're a brick and mortar business or you're working out of your home. And that should be okay too, because it's related enough to your account. It's related enough to your business. But on TikTok, I would use hashtags that have 1,000 to thousands to tens of thousands, like, because those are narrower. You're not going to get buried in seconds with TikTok. You have a better chance, even if like one of your hashtags is like 100,000, a couple 100,000. Just use common sense. You have more of a fighting chance to be pulled up in a feed that someone scrolls through once they pull up that keyword / hashtag in search on TikTok. Similarly, you would do that on Instagram too. So there may be base ones that always kind of relate to the content, to your business without using your business name until you've transcended. But the most important hashtags to use, let's not forget, are the ones that your clientele is searching up on that has to do with the main pain point that would take them to a business like yours, or a main passion point that would take them to a business like yours, right? Because they don't know to look for you yet. I wouldn't use industry terms unless you're selling B2B, then that works for that clientele. But like if someone's decorating their home, they may not be looking specifically for, they're not specifically looking for a fancy product name you might have given because they don't know about that yet. But like I would have a hashtag that has to do with that item without going too broad. Like hashtag chair is a waste of time, but like, I don't know, hashtag Elizabethan chair. I'm just making this crap up. That might, have a better chance, a more narrow group of people who are searching on that content and or optimizing their content. So you have a fighting chance of showing up in that feed. But you have to stand in the shoes of your ideal customer and go, what are they searching on and why? That's going to dictate the hashtags that you use. And then if you see that some are just so broad and supersonic with millions, billions of uses, hundreds of thousands, getting close to 1 million, you're like, what's like a related hashtag? And let me look that up and see, did I drop it down to at least 100,000 or so people? Did I drop it down to tens of thousands of pieces of content really that's being optimized with that hashtag? Then you have a better clue that hashtag is something that applies, will be pulled up in search in a way that will intersect somebody intelligently with a business like yours. But, you can be competitive for it. This is also why I tell people, do not wait forever and a day. Once you see that a platform like TikTok, like if you were not bullish on TikTok in 2018-19, I get it. The company bought Musical.ly and rebranded it. And Musical.ly was a total kids app that only some uber early adopters like Gary Vaynerchuk might have gotten on, right? But by the time we went into 2020, it was already getting traction. And then honestly, COVID just took that and just fast forwarded it, or took something that was in a crock pot going into an Instant Pot, it threw it in the microwave and boom, huge growth. So, 2020 on, we were approaching that tipping point. Now we're at the tipping point that it's more adults using it than kids. You cannot not be on TikTok. And you don't want to wait any longer about putting out about a TikTok a day, because the longer you wait on that crap, I am so sorry, the more competitive every hashtag is going to be. This is about as sweet a sweet spot as we're standing here in this snapshot of time for you to get on TikTok, take Instagram Reels seriously, since the Instagram CEO already said we're now a video first platform anyway, and intelligently repurpose video content, short form video content for TikTok versus Instagram, and have a dual barrel approach, because TikTok's a great supersonic growth vehicle. Your Instagram Reels will perform well to supersonic depending, but it'll at least invigorate the rest of your pre-existing Instagram account. And again, like I said, you're going to convert better for sales based upon your presence on Instagram than you will on Facebook. Although Facebook you can do really well. Joe's does about as well on Facebook than Instagram. We also have a huge following that is largely engaged on our Facebook page. That's like 12,000 people. In our Facebook group, that's over 3,100 people. All right. So like you can grow on Facebook. That's a longer game. Instagram, it had become a longer game until they decided they wanted to get into the short form video content arena. Now, if you use Reels, you can get a lot of growth. And TikTok is just great for supersonic discoverability. TikTok is not quite as buyer first as Instagram. However, I did come out with a video recently on this channel that talked about, let me give you the name. Let me give you the name of the video. Let me do it. Well, I do have the video that says TikTok, why you can't wait any longer, and we get into the stats more. And people are watching TikTok content about as much as YouTube content now, which surprised a lot of people. They knew that day might come, but not this fast. You want to also look at the video, how to find TikTok trends as an older person. What am I looking for? I talk about why you're not growing on TikTok. That's a bigger one. Oh, let's see. Hold on. And now we're into Instagram SEO. I have another video, what metrics can be measured on TikTok. So that's using your insights to, okay. Where is it? Did it not publish yet? I'm a little ahead. Oh, I have a video that says, why don't hashtags work on TikTok? So if you're using the wrong kind of hashtags, or you're not following hashtag best practices beyond what I've discussed on today's video, like, you want to check that out. Can you embed links in a TikTok video? Can you embed links in a TikTok video? Yes, that video was published to my channel on September 3rd. Can you embed links in a TikTok video? The answer is, unless they are beta testing it with you, not yet. But there are beta testers who are putting clickable, shoppable links in their videos. So like, if Joe's were participating in this thing, we weren't ready, so we couldn't accept it. If we were selling versions of our t-shirt that our employees wear with our logo on it, we could have them do whatever they were already going to do in the video. But there could be like a grayed out box, like a silver grayed out box with like white lettering on it that says, you know, shop the look or whatever. And if somebody taps on that box, it'll take them in app to, let's say in this example, a Teespring shop, where they can buy that shirt off that page in that video so that they're making the purchase in app without having to leave the app to go to your website or whatever. It's less frictionless. It's more frictionless for you. And so you're more likely to score the sale. You're happy. And then TikTok's happy, because then they can just go back to hanging out in the app again, where they're being served up more ads. And so TikTok's happy. Of course, they never want you to leave their app. But I think that TikTok is smart. It's less of a deterrent for people to try to sell in app if TikTok isn't with their fingers too directly in it. And also, you're keeping the commission, let's say if you're going through like a Spreadshirt or a Teespring account or Redbubble or something like that. So why do I mention it? Because number one, a lot of you on this live anyway are product-based businesses, but coaches and course creators, you could see how this could work for you too down the road, right? But also, I'm saying it to everyone watching live and everyone on the replay. TikTok's firing that warning shot across the bow of Instagram and Facebook and saying, ha ha ha, instead of them having to build a whole nother shop, they'll come, you know, my milkshake's going to bring all the marketers to the yard because it's faster. They don't have to set up shops. I'm not keeping the contacts, you know, they'll get contacts from their own shop or whatever arrangement they might have with a third party app like Spreadshirt or whatever. but I'm not in the mix and I'm keeping them on my platform. And that's important to you because this is being beta tested actively for weeks and weeks now. So that means that as soon as any kinks are rolled out or what have you, this is going to be a feature that you're all going to be able to have, right? And that's telling you that TikTok's corporate culture, especially now that we've hit this tipping point, you think the timing's a mistake? I argue not. Now that it's more adults on this app than kids who have money to spend, well, the corporate culture will be more in the coming, say, months, more friendly to you outright selling on the app. Instagram, it wasn't like that when they first started. It wasn't like that for the first several years when they started. Now Instagram, it's totally game. No one's automatically turned off if you've got sales-based, content in there. Look at my candle, look at my essential oils, right? Look at my fashion. It's going to get like that very soon on TikTok. They're already testing that feature. Heather says, you can save the hashtags on TikTok. I'm not sure where it puts them, but it puts a little flag banner pops up. That's the save ribbon. So you could save them for your own use. Just like you can save sound effects. You can do that. You could save music. You could do that. If you like a filter or like a special effect or a feature, you can use that little save ribbon. And this way it's easier for you to go back and reuse them. So that you can do. Bridget says, but does it need to be the actual hashtag as a character? Or is it so smart that it just looks at the keywords on, say, TikTok? I will tell you right now that on Instagram SEO, I know you said TikTok, Instagram, the keywords are increasingly more important. Why? Because I think that not only does their algorithm need more data points to surface, because it's more mature and there's more users and it's more complex, but so many people have gotten so savvy about hashtags that it's hard to rank people up or to give suggestions out. So they need more data than just the hashtags. So on Instagram, the algorithm, because the CEO came out and said it for Instagram, keywords are more of a thing now in the captions. And hashtags are still important. They're not less important. Let's make that clear. So on Instagram, the algorithm is smart enough to pick this stuff up, and it will continue to iterate and evolve and become increasingly smarter about picking that up. On TikTok, all I'm really hearing and seeing right now is that it is really the hashtags. Do I think as a best practice, you should, what little you can fit in there for your word-based hook that isn't a hashtag, do I think that you should try to make that keyword rich if you can? Sure. But right now, what I think is most important is the hashtags, and that you have some sort of hook that will help to encourage people to watch your video until the end. Because on TikTok, it can go to 3 minutes now. So before, when it was 60 seconds or less, I'd be like, please, before they know it, the video is over. You know what I mean? And so you could, whatever you say, if you're speaking on camera with a TikTok video, whatever your text overlay is, that can make sure that they're staying tuned until the end and maybe rewatching it because, now I have to tap and hold to see what kind of extra text is on the screen. So if you're not really using text overlays, get into that, because every time somebody rewatches your video, that's another data point that the algorithm goes, there's more engagement. I think I'm going to recommend this more out on the For You page on TikTok. I don't know that the algorithm is as evolved yet or needs to be on TikTok yet to pick up words that aren't with the hashtag in front of it, but I think it'll have to evolve there. Do I think that they will eventually make the caption longer on TikTok? If they feel they need to stay competitive and to stay an industry leader, they'll do whatever it takes. They're testing Instagram stories, calling it TikTok stories. That's been in the test mode too. It shows we're so flipping busy. We don't have time to test stuff right now. It's always nice to be involved or to be approached, but it's May you all have that problem. But what was I saying? And then I'm going to get to Amy Lynn Blade. I didn't forget you. But what am I looking at? Let me refresh this. Okay. So I was saying something and I got way off track. Sorry. Amy says, I didn't think I would like TikTok at all, but I find myself down the rabbit hole watching craft demos and funny cat videos. That's the downside. I don't have time for that. Set a timer on your phone. Timer will warn you to get off. So if you give yourself 15 minutes, that's what you give yourself. And actually, I'm glad you said that, Amy, for several reasons. Number one, this is why TikTok's so successful. Number two, honestly, how will I put this? Let me look at how you say that. Honestly, it's not a downside. If you're looking at what your competitors are doing for ideas to create more content, right? Because you got to put up a TikTok a day for best success, right? More if you could do it, but since we're adults with families and busy lives and pre-existing businesses, most of you, I'm not going to be unrealistic, but at least a video a day on TikTok that you can repurpose, as we explained earlier, in an intelligent way that isn't going to get you in trouble or anything like that as an Instagram reel. And then you've got a dual barrel approach. It will get you really good growth on both platforms and not just one. It's not that much more work. The editors are practically the same. So, and if you've got your caption and your hashtags ready and extra hashtags when you go Instagram Reels and it's copy and paste, boom, boom, boom. But I think you should spend 15 minutes a day, set the timer so you can yank yourself out of the rabbit hole if need be, and go see what your competitors are doing. So use that Discover feature to take you to the search part up top on the Discover page and spend 15 minutes searching on the hashtags that your ideal customer is searching on to binge content that has to do with that intersecting interest that would intersect them with the pain point or the passion point that they have to a business like yours. All right, guys. I think that's all I have for today. Make sure that you subscribe. If you haven't, please share this out. That would really do me a lot of good because I'd love to be able to help more people. I'm not endlessly a shill. Sure, I've got, coaching and course creation and stuff like that keeps my busy, business turning. But I do love to do this as a give back to the community. So definitely share this out. Definitely give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already. Hashtag live, hashtag replay. I want to see who's here on the replay. Ask any questions once this goes into replay mode. And like I said, within about a day of this video being published, I definitely will check back to answer people. Sometimes I do it longer. I can't promise, but that's what I'm here for. Share this out, subscribe, like it, and make sure that you guys have an awesome day. Talk to you guys later. Bye. Popularity plan is coming out. If you're on my email list, you will get the email about it. Bye-bye, guys. It's coming out tomorrow.